Talking a little MLB Trade Deadline, the Diamondbacks are 8 games out of a playoff spot halfway through the season. The deadline is 11 days away, and there's questions surrounding Eugenio Suarez and if he will be traded or not. He's been so good for the Diamondbacks this season. Take a look at where he stacks up among third basemen. These numbers are impressive. The most home runs through the first 100 games by a third baseman, 35 for Suarez. Matt Williams, 38 in 1994. Mike Schmidt, 35 in 1979. He's flirting with some history through 98 games played. All right, let's welcome in CBS Sports MLB expert and writer Matt Snyder. And Matt, Suarez, an all-star. The Diamondbacks have thought about trading him. It seems like they go back and forth sometime. He is perhaps one of the most coveted trade candidates in general. What are we thinking about his fate?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to see how this next week and a half unfolds in terms of how the Diamondbacks play. It's such a fun situation because they just swept the Cardinals. They're 4.5 games out of a playoff spot, which you could argue, hey, 4.5, that's right in the race, but they have 3 teams to jump over. They have the Astros at home right now to start this week. Let's say they go out and get swept. All of a sudden, they're definitely going to be sellers. And not only do they have Suarez, they also have Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen, Josh Naylor, who could be dealt. They're all in their last year before free agency. But of course, Suarez is the main course here. I mean, 35 home runs to lead the National League, 85 RBI to lead the National League. So many teams with deep pockets who have World Series aspirations need a third baseman. You look at the Yankees, a glaring hole at third base. The Cubs would like to replace Matt Shaw for the rest of this year at third base. I think you could argue the Mets could go out and get a third baseman and keep Vientos at DH. Vientos has been a disappointment this year after breakout season last year. So if the Diamondbacks do decide to sell, and I'm sure that they haven't decided right now, they've probably prepared to be both a buyer or a seller and just kind of see how the chips fall in next week and a half. But if they do decide to sell, there's going to be a huge bidding war for Suarez.
Absolutely. One of the most coveted guys on the market right now. All right, let's talk about Cedric Mullins in Baltimore. He is a trade chip for the Orioles. Every game he has played as a major leaguer has been in an O's uniform. He did tell the media the other day, he said, I want to stay in Baltimore. But, Matt, what happens with him with the Orioles?
I think they're probably going to end up trading him eventually, and there's a good fit sitting right there who needs a center fielder, and that's the New York Mets. Mullins could hit toward the end of the order there, be kind of a catalyst for the top of that order with Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso there. He could get on base. He's a good power-speed combo. Not as good OPS-wise as he was a few years ago, but he'll still get on base at a decent clip and mix in the home runs. When he gets on base, he'll run. And again, he can play center field. The Mets have had a gaping hole in center field all year, so that's too good of a match for me to not say that he's going to go. I think that they're going to end up matching up those two teams.
Absolutely. Well, let's move on to the Pittsburgh Pirates. There's really no way to sugarcoat it. They've not had a good season. Of course, they let Derek Shelton go throughout the first half. And, of course, he really does not bear responsibility for what has happened with that team. But let's talk a little bit about Mitch Keller. He is piecing together one of the best seasons of his career. There's reports that the Yankees are interested. What are you hearing about him, Matt?
Oh, I think he's going to go. And it's interesting, he's still under team control for another 3 years after this, but that's when he starts to get expensive. The 3 years and about $56 million left on his contract. So, of course, the Pirates, it all starts at the top with owner Bob Nutting, an absolute embarrassment to baseball as an ownership group. They are going to try to get out from this money since they're not a contending team and they don't look like they're going to contend next year. Keller right now, 3.48 ERA, 2.32 ERA in his last 7 starts. It's the right time for the Pirates to move him. Somebody like the Yankees would absolutely jump at adding him. I think the Cubs have been prominently mentioned in there as well. They will be in the mix. The Pirates are going to get a decent haul back for Mitch Keller, but I think that it will beg the question, when are the Pirates trying to contend? Because this was only the second year with Paul Skeens. He's going to hit arbitration in another 2 years. He's going to hit free agency another couple of years after that. Are they just perpetually rebuilding? This move that's going to happen for Mitch Keller will beg that question.
Absolutely. You look at the season that Paul Skeens is having, and it's just a shame when you look at the record that the Pirates have right now. It is. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Twins. After some tough injuries, they do continue to spiral in the standings, and they could listen to offers on Jhoan Duran. He's a coveted reliever. You have to imagine there's a lot of teams that are licking their chops when they see him. Where might he land?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the best fireballers in baseball. He has closing experience. He also has experience setting up. There are so many teams that will talk to the Twins about him. I mean, think about it. Every single year when we talk about team needs, every single team we say they need to bulk up the bullpen, especially when they're looking at postseason runs. You could see somebody like the Blue Jays who really need to beef up that bullpen there at the back end. How about the Phillies? They badly need some bullpen help. They just signed David Robertson. They could use another late inning arm. Duran would be excellent at the back end for the Phillies there. 50 strikeouts and 44 1/3. One of the hardest throwers, as you can see right there in Major League Baseball. Great fit on either the Blue Jays or Phillies.
Absolutely. He would be a great fit anywhere. And when you look at the postseason, pitching wins you games in the postseason. So you have to imagine that a team that's in contention is going to want him. All right, let's move on to Edward Cabrera in Miami. He's being targeted and gaining interest from teams, and for good reason, as he's had a very strong season in Miami. What are you hearing about him?
Well, it's funny because at the start of the year, everybody just wanted to talk about Sandy Alcantara. Coming off Tommy John surgery, when are the Marlins going to trade him? But he's been so bad all year. Cabrera has a really live arm. And I think he's one of those guys that there might be something untapped in there. And if he goes to an organization that is better at developing pitching than the Marlins have been, they could get a lot more out of Cabrera here. Keep him healthy, lower that walk rate a little bit, kind of harness his stuff, which is, as I said, electric. 86 strikeouts and 82 1/3 innings. Anybody who wants cost-controlled pitching will be in on him. So that's basically every single contender. I wonder what the Brewers could do with him, but they don't need starting pitchers. They have so many good young starters. The Cubs, I think, would be a really interesting fit here. We've seen what the Cubs have done with Matthew Boyd this year, and that kind of piggybacked on what the Guardians did with Matthew Boyd last year. That's a very interesting fit for me, Cabrera and the Cubs.
Absolutely, I would agree. He would be a great fit for the Cubs, and you know that the Cubs want to make that deep run in the postseason after the season that they have been having. Thank you so much for the time, Matt. We appreciate the insight as always. Let's take a look at the notable MLB games tonight. The Detroit Tigers, my goodness, they are on a tear this season. They're facing the Pirates, but they are facing Paul Skeens. So while the Pirates are not a strong team, Paul Skeens certainly is a tough challenge on the mound. Red Sox at Phillies, that's a good one. Yankees at Blue Jays. What an AL East showdown between two of the top teams in that division. Angels visiting the Mets and Juan Soto. And the Twins in LA facing the Dodgers. Yes, you have Ohtani going on the mound. That is something that you do not want to miss.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
we're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.